All right, welcome to our new Coach Basics training today. Thank you guys for joining me. I am so excited to share this topic with you guys because today we're going to talk about social media. It is probably one of the most important parts of being a coach, and it's the most fun because this is where we get to express our creativity and this is where we get to create our brand. Because I want you guys to remember, as you're going through this Coach Basics training, you are creating your own brand. You are not Sam Beachbody Coach. You are Samantha Huger, Mommy in Love with Fitness, or whatever your brand is. It can just be your name, whatever you want, but you are building yourself, your brand, and you as a coach. People aren't going to want to do a Beachbody program because it's Beachbody. They're going to want to do a Beachbody program because you are going to be their coach. And I'm going to show you guys today how you can better build your brand and build your social media presence and make it as effective as possible. So be ready to take some notes because this information I'm going to share with you is awesome. So the first thing that you guys want to do, I'm sure that as you're building your business, the number one place where you're probably going to have the most success is through your Facebook. So you have to make sure that those posts on your Facebook are public. So right now, I want you to write this down. As soon as this call is over, go to your privacy settings on your Facebook and make sure that all of your posts are public, because I'm going to have you adding friends every day and reaching out to new people, and you have to make sure that your posts are public so that they can kind of get an idea of what you do and who you're about. You don't want it to be private because they're less likely to hit that accept friend request button. So make sure that all of your posts are public first and foremost on your Facebook, and on your Instagram for that matter. If somebody goes to your Instagram and it doesn't show any photos, like they have to like approve your request for them to follow you, you want to make sure that you change that privacy setting as well. So first off, let's talk about taking better photos. I think this is so important as coaches to take really good pictures. What you need to make sure you're doing is taking your photos in the best lighting possible. I know that's not always possible, especially at nighttime, but the best lighting is anywhere near a window if you're inside, or if you're outside, just making sure you're in nice natural lighting. Natural lighting is the best. And I can guarantee you, if your photos are nice and bright and clear, it doesn't mean you have to go and get some fancy camera, but if you're taking selfies on your phone and you're doing it in nice natural lighting, it's going to make for a better photo. So make sure you take your photos by a window or outside whenever possible. And then one thing about photos is that it's actually not as attractive to the eye and less likely to get likes if you use really strong filters. I know it's kind of popular right now to use like really yellowy filters and things like that. They actually don't get you as much traction on your Facebook for getting likes or anything like that. It is so much better to just do like a very subtle filter if you're going to do one at all. So make sure your photos are nice and bright and white, and try not to use really heavy filters. One thing that I really want to hit on, especially when it comes to Facebook, is your quote Facebook affinity. So what a Facebook affinity is if you post something and it doesn't get hardly any traction right off the bat, nobody comments, nobody likes, it brings down your Facebook affinity. So Facebook sees you as somebody who isn't posting things that are interesting, and someone who is posting things that those posts don't need to show up on other people's news feeds. I mean, think about how often you actually go to someone else's actual Facebook page in order to see what they've been up to. Not very often. The only time we really see things that other people are up to is because we see them in our news feeds. So you want to make sure that you're making your Facebook affinity as amazing as possible. So some of these tips I'm going to share with you today are going to help to increase your Facebook affinity so that when you post something, it immediately gets likes, it immediately gets comments, and Facebook, the algorithms for Facebook affinity says, okay, this person is posting something that other people are really interested in. I'm going to make it show up on more people's news feeds. That's what Facebook affinity means. And by doing some of these things I'm telling you about today, it's going to help to improve your Facebook affinity. So the one thing to improve your Facebook affinity is to take those better, nice, light, bright photos. Just as a general rule of thumb, as humans, we are more attracted to white, not as much attracted to black, and we're more likely to like something that is really nice and bright and white and not too many crazy like colors. But colorful is good. I'm not saying that, but like we're more attracted to light photos than dark photos. So that's going to help your Facebook affinity. Another thing that's going to help your readers or followers to really actually read what you write. I know that sometimes we want to write these long, long stories. And anytime I do a post, literally anytime I do a post, I always do this. I write out the post and I make sure that I double space in between the paragraphs, or like every 2 to 3 sentences, I double space. The more, like I just said, the more white space you have within the text, the more readable it is to the person. So if it's something of really high importance and it's a lot of information that you really want them to read, let's say it's an invite to your next challenge group, you definitely want them to read that. So you don't want this big one long run-on paragraph. You want to make sure that when you have changed the subject, or every 2 to 3 sentences, you are double spacing so that there's a whole line of space there in your text, so that it's easier for that person to read. Another thing is, like, I know for myself, my sister and a lot of people like to tag me in things all the time. And so when they tag me and stuff, it shows up on my Facebook page. And I want to make sure that if I were to send a friend request and my profile is public so they can see everything I post, if they were to look at my page and they saw the last 5 posts on my personal Facebook page, that those are posts that I really want them to see. So I want you to start to become a curator for your Facebook page. This is now your business front. Your Facebook page is your brand. Your Facebook page is your business front. And you want to make sure that the people that are going to that page are only seeing things that you want them to see. So if somebody tags you in something that has nothing to do with fitness, nothing to do with your business, and it's probably not something you really want other people to see necessarily, that it's not going to benefit your business, what I do is I think you can do it on your phone as well, but on your computer, there's like a little arrow button, and you can click on that and click hide from timeline. So what I'll do is I'll comment and I'll be like, haha, too funny, or something like that. And then I will go ahead and hide it from my timeline. It doesn't untag me from the post. It just takes it off my timeline so that when somebody goes to my page, they're not seeing that thing that somebody tagged in. So become a curator of your page. Make sure that what you're posting on there is things that you really want other people to see. Another thing, and this is going to be such a huge time saver for you guys, is to not be super fancy with your photos. You might think that, oh my gosh, now I all of a sudden have to build my brand, and I have to learn how to photo edit, and I have to learn how to make all these pretty collages and all these kinds of things. And actually that decreases your Facebook affinity when you use text and when you use collages. So I of course I want you to use like a before and after, like a collage that way, but you can pretty much just get rid of the collage apps and all of that stuff, because it will decrease your Facebook affinity. Facebook knows when something is a really busy photo and has a ton of text or all different kinds of photos, and it won't make it show up on your Facebook newsfeed. So you spend all this time making this beautiful post, and then it gets no traction, and you're wondering why in the heck, even though it looks beautiful, why it's hardly getting any likes. It's because Facebook knows that it's a really busy picture, and it's not going to have it show up on people's newsfeeds. So you can just not worry about those collage apps. What I would say though is, if you are going to do your text on your photos, is to download this app. I hope you guys can see it. It's called Over. I don't know if you can get it for Android. This is my favorite text app. It's amazing. It's really easy to use. And what I like to do, because I am building my brand, is I found my 3 favorite fonts that I like on this app that I feel like speaks to me and to my brand. And I only use those apps. And usually, like from time to time I'll switch it up, but if this is what you're doing, find your 3 favorite fonts and only use those when you're using font on your videos, again, or on your photos. Again, though, I'm going to say that it does decrease your Facebook affinity, because even for myself, like I'll post a photo of just myself as a selfie, and it'll get a ton of likes, and it's not even that great of a photo, but then I'll post this really amazing photo that I added some text to, and it will get hardly any traction, because Facebook knows that it has text, and I think they're just kind of pushing more towards less advertisements. So that is something I want you guys to know before you start getting all crazy with your apps. I know it's so much fun, and I used to do it too, but this has definitely helped to increase my Facebook affinity and helped more of my photos to be seen. One really awesome tip is that I really I believe wholeheartedly in you need to get really good at taking selfies. And it sounds so funny, but taking selfies is going to improve your business. People don't want to see your dog, or they don't want to see, not saying that you can't post pictures of them, because you should be sharing your life, but they really want to see you. You're branding yourself, you're branding you, and they want a glimpse into what your life is like. So taking selfies is really important. You should be at least taking one selfie a day for sure. And I know if you're like, oh my God, I never take selfies, it gets easier, and I'm going to show you this little tip. So what I do when I want to take a selfie is I will turn my phone onto video, and then I'll prop the camera up somewhere and turn on the video, and then I'll pose, and I'll do like several different poses. And what I can do is I can go back to the video, and I can like find a good, like I'll push pause on the video, and on the iPhone you can kind of scroll back and forth to find a good shot. I'll find the good shot, and then I'll do the screenshot where you click both buttons at the same time. I'll screenshot a shot of the video. Does that make sense? So that way it doesn't have my arm in there, because half the time I, like my armpit hair and stuff like that, I don't really want that in my photos. It makes it so that you're taking a selfie, but it doesn't look like you're taking a selfie. Video, take a screenshot. It's amazing. It's like the best trick ever. Making sure that you're posting at the right times is really important too. Like there's definitely certain times on Facebook and Instagram where they don't get a whole lot of traction. So do your research. Find out what times are the best times to post. I know for myself, it is definitely like in the mornings, lunchtime, 5 o'clock, and then around like 7 or 8 o'clock. And there's definitely certain days that don't get a whole lot of traction at all. I know for myself, Saturdays and Fridays are really bad. Like not hardly anybody is on Facebook on those days. And most of the day Sunday. But like on Sunday night, it's really busy. And Mondays is busy as well. So do your research. Just Google it. Find out for yourself. And making sure that you're posting at the right times is going to help with your Facebook affinity, because remember, like I said, if you post something and it doesn't get any likes right away, your Facebook affinity is going to go down and it's not going to show up on anybody's news feeds. And if you're posting it at a time where it could have gotten great traction, but there's just nobody online that day, wait and make sure that you post it on a day where you're going to get lots of traction. It's going to show up on a lot of people's news feeds. One more thing, talking about like how to post on your Facebook and things like that, is try video. Video is so huge, and I know that you might hear that and be like, oh hell no, Sam, I am not going to be doing any video. Trust me, I felt the same way when I first started, and this is what I did, is I started doing a video a day, every day, for my challengers, because that way it was on a private group. I didn't have to feel like I was putting myself out there too much, and it helped me to get practice at being better at video. And now I can do video anywhere and everywhere pretty much. I can do it in public and I don't even care. That sounds horrible. But so making sure that you're doing video is really great, because it's going to help people to really get an idea of who you are and your personality, and they're going to have more trust in you, and building trust is so important in this business. And then making sure that you're expanding your market. You might have only 400 friends to start off with, or maybe you have 1,000 friends to start off with. You need to make sure that you're constantly adding friends. And so one thing you can do is to go through like your mutual friends and add people that have at least 10 mutual friends with you. And then also making sure that you're like getting yourself into groups that are of a common interest to you. It doesn't have to be fitness. In fact, I suggest it not being fitness. Maybe you're really into, like myself, like bohemian lifestyle, or you're really into crafting, or you're really into whatever it is, canning fruits or vegetables or whatever. Get into some groups and start posting things in that group, not like posting advertisements per se, but posting things of value to that group, and you're going to be able to network and meet more people outside of like mutual friends and things like that. It's really going to help a lot. And then last but not least, and this is so important, is I know that right off the bat when you start this Beachbody business, you're like, okay, so I have to start a Facebook like page. And I'm telling you, you don't have to start a Facebook like page right away, unless you want to. I'm going to leave this up to you. As far as creating a like page goes, it is a labor of love. They are really, honestly, like, I hate to say it, but Facebook really just wants to make money off of us for creating a Facebook like page. And so a lot of times coaches will start a Facebook like page, and then they'll start posting all their fitness stuff on their like page and then sharing it onto their personal page. And then it's not getting a whole lot of likes. What I want you to do if you do start a like page is to make sure you post on your personal page and on your like page. Post on both, because when you share it from your like page onto your personal page, Facebook knows, and they just don't make it show up on anybody's news feeds. And I want to make sure that your stuff is getting seen. And then also, if you are trying to think of a name or something like that, just use your name. Just use your name. If you ask me or my upline coach, Ashley, both of us would tell you that I kind of wish I wouldn't have done Mommy in Love with Fitness, and I know Ashley wishes she wouldn't have done Fit and Fabulous. Like, we wish we would have just branded ourselves as our name. I know it's really hard not to like want to create this really cool brand for yourself, and you totally can. I'm not saying you can't. You got to figure out what's best for you, but I'm just telling you that's what I would say. And so just don't worry about growing the like page too much just yet. It is great to have. It's a great tool to have to help you to expand your market. But make sure that you're posting on both your personal page and your like page for now. And then just continue to grow that like page. And don't worry if you aren't getting a whole lot of traction on it, because even still to this day, I will post something on my like page and it'll get like 1 or 2 likes. And I'll post it on my personal page and it'll get like 100 likes or something like that. And excuse me, also, I still, a year and a half into this business, get about 70 to 80% of my business from my personal page from people I know. So that's just what I have to say about that. And then lastly, one thing is sorry, I keep saying lastly, but is your Instagram. What I always do is I have my Facebook connected to my Instagram. So if I go to post a photo on Instagram, all I have to do is click on this little Facebook thing. You guys can see that. I just have to click on this little Facebook thing and it'll automatically post to my Facebook. That is a great way to grow your Instagram and your Facebook at the same time, and it makes your life a lot easier. So those are my tips for you guys on your social media. If you guys need anything at all, please let me know. I'm happy to help, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with the new Coach Basics training. All right, talk to you later. Bye.